Hello everybody, we are the Geeks and the Giants. I am Enzo. This is my forever co-host Jum. Today we wrap up our British gangster movie with a movie set in Britain. Not really British gangsters, they're Russian gangsters, but it is directed by David Cronenberg and written by Stephen Knight. If you guys don't know who Stephen Knight is, he is the creator of Peaky Blinders. So you're like, oh, cool, matches our team.
I was like, when I saw David Cronenberg, I was like, what? But I do remember, what was this? Viggo Mortensen was in a Cronenberg movie recently.
Yeah.
It was kind of disgusting.
Oh yeah, I know that.
A world where they don't feel pain, so they hurt themselves to feel pain. I was like, feel something.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. I'm like, you know what? There's some movies I don't need to see. You know?
Yeah.
But aside from that, I think he is a very extraordinary director, and this Eastern Promises proves it. And it starts off pretty heavy. Like you say, the last two aren't as heavy as say The Godfather or Goodfellas. This one starts off of oh, this is what we're starting with. And I know the actress. There are two actresses for Tatiana. One being the patient who dies at the beginning. The second one being the narration is voiced by Tatiana Maslany from She-Hulk, and you're like, oh, cool, interesting.
Oh,
yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah, and the care for her child falls to Naomi Watts, Anna, who has somewhat of a Russian family, like her aunt's from England, you can picture, but her uncle's from Russia, and right off the bat, you're like, that guy is not the best character, or maybe he just... He means well, but
didn't he admit that he was ex-KGB?
Yeah, he says
Viggo Mortensen just laughed at it. I was like,
yeah, and then he says something to Anna at the beginning, and you're like, oh, this is what we're in for. Okay. But she needs a translator for the diary, and the diary starts out pretty innocent enough of I wanna get out of this cold town to see the world. My friend comes back from Amsterdam and Paris, tells me all these wonderful things, and I want to explore the world. And in present day, Anna goes into this Russian restaurant played for what's his name, Simon. Don't know how to pronounce. Yeah,
I don't know either, but this guy was a standout. He was a great actor. This is, I would say, early days, maybe. Who was that actor that played The Godfather?
Oh, why am I blanking? But yeah, early Vito Corleone. Is that what you're thinking? Yeah. Marlon Brando. Fuck. Yeah.
I love that. He walks in, he introduces his entire somewhat speakeasy restaurant. I was like,
yeah.
It's not a speakeasy, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's teaching his granddaughters how to play the violin a little bit better. I was like, this is so shady.
Yeah.
But he's masking it very well.
Yeah, he's a very kind, elderly Russian grandfather. And you don't really suspect anything other than the fact that he keeps his son is Vincent Cassel, and then he has Viggo Mortensen as the driver. Krillin, I think is Vincent's name, and Viggo plays Nikolai. And you're I don't trust Krillin. He's just icky. The way he talks about people, the way he behaves. Later on, you're yeah, my suspicions are right.
There was a scene here that was a little bit ish.
Yeah.
Knowing the context of it, I was just that's bad.
Yeah. And then later on, I forgot to mention at the beginning, you see someone who has their throat open wide up, and him and Viggo Mortensen have to deal with that. And then Nikolai is such a very cool, cold character. The fact that he's just need to put out my cigarette. Then she's
yeah, he just takes it out on his tongue. I was he's hard.
Yeah, and you get some lore into how the Russian mob works. That their stories are their tattoos, and you're I think I read something about that once, from BBC. I'm that's interesting. And you just see this world that you literally see the world of Nikolai and Krillin through Anna's eyes, because she's very much I just want to take care of this child, and that's about it.
Yeah.
While you suspect Krillin and Nikolai are just very hard gangsters, and especially Krillin because he makes Nikolai do something at the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the thing I felt so uncomfortable with because I think I read somewhere that these were underage girls.
Yeah. Yeah, this
Yeah.
whole trade with the Russian mob, you're like, they deal with drugs, and aside from drugs, they deal with humans, like human trafficking, and you're like, you see the very worst of that when Krillin is like, I'm gonna put you on a test, you have to do this, and you're like, I don't want to do.
Because like I gotta see if you know if you gay.
Yeah.
We can't have you if you gay.
Yeah.
And like yeah, he does it, and it was shown. And I was just like
Yeah. Yeah, and then like, as the diary goes on, like, it's still innocent until like the midway point when Stefan's like, alright, I'll translate it for you. And you hear what happens between her and Krillin and the dad, and you're just like, you go from like, that's interesting to, well, fuck. And like, before Simon seemingly threatens the baby that Anna's taking care of, and you're like, okay, now you're sus. And then after Stefan reads the diary, you're like, you're just more than sus. You're a horrible human being. What the fuck, man? Krillin's also horrible. And the fact that you don't know what Nikolai does, you're like, I really don't know about you, man.
Yeah, I love this entire, like, he is mysterious. Like, you don't know him, you don't know anything about him until, like, we get the entire picture at the end.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we're just seeing everything unfold. Like, the very nice grandfather who owns the restaurant is the mafia boss. He has skeletons in his closet. He does a lot of dark shit. I was like, that's so cool. Please don't do it, whoever is out there.
Yeah.
But like,
it just slowly unravels, and like, you're still like, what does Nikolai do then? Because his answer is always like, I'm just a driver. I go left, I go right.
Yeah,
go forward, go back.
He's a bodyguard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
he's a bodyguard for Krillin. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
But you know that there is something up. Like, he starts like going in front of the council of like the Russian mob. Starts showing his tattoos, and he's like gonna get like the star tattoo, like the stallion star tattoo.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's what it looks like. And like, he's supposed to get on like your shoulders and your knees, and like he's gonna be like part of it. And then we get like this solid like bathroom scene.
Yeah.
Cause like remember that one nephew that like slit the guy's throat?
Yeah.
Like, he gets taken out like after he like pissed on a grave after a game.
Yeah.
And now like that uncle is like trying to get people killed.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't understand why. I forgot why they targeted Vigo.
Because the dad was like, do they know what Krillin looks like? He's like, no. And he's like, alright, you'll meet him later on. And like, he makes Nikolai seem like Krillin. Even the guy is like, yeah, he's Krillin.
Okay. I might have missed some dialogue there. Because sometimes they speak Russian. And also, for some fucking reason, Amazon Prime Video doesn't want to show me subtitles. Did that happen to you?
No. It would, but
no, like, they showed subtitles when they spoke Russian, but they didn't show it when they're speaking English. So sometimes I would miss shit.
Oh, no, I don't. Nah, I guess I just have good headphones. I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm just used to how Europeans talk because I grew up with like Spanish people. So I'm like, oh, okay.
I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, like you see like Nikolai just get into this like shower fight.
Yeah.
And it was so sick. Not gonna lie. It was very real. It was too real.
Yeah. And you just like see the other compatriots being like, what the fuck is happening in the shower? I didn't sign up for this. I just came here to blow off some steam, man. What do you?
Anyway, but yeah, and again, I love this entire movie because when we're put into the eyes of what's her name? I think
Anna.
Anna.
Yeah.
It's just a rabbit hole. Like she just sees the rabbit hole go down. Vigo is like already in the rabbit hole. Like,
Yeah.
he's been there, done that. But she's seeing it for the first time, and we're seeing it for the first time, and like we're all just like, "Holy shit, this is bad."
Yeah.
Like this is when you say Russian mob, this is what we mean by Russian mob. And I was just like, yeah, this is like what movies don't show,
Yeah.
and it is kind of cool to see it from that perspective. And I love how David Cronenberg did it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
That
yeah.
scene when Anna meets Nikolai in the fast food chain, he's like very smart, meeting in public place, very wise. And then later on, she's like, she's only 14. How could you do this? He's like, you don't belong in this world. You belong with the nice people. Don't act out of anger because you do stupid things. And then her uncle spits on him. He's just like, oh fuck. I think if I saw someone do that to me, I'd be like, I'm gonna shit myself. Don't mess with Russian mobsters, you know.
No, that's that too. Like, yeah, like they're all just trying to get answers.
Yeah.
And trying to get down to like what happened to this girl, why did she die through labor, and what was going on. And we find out that like, yeah, she's part of the trade. She got impregnated and she had to just deal with it
Yeah.
on her own. She escaped and she had to deal with it on her own.
Yeah, and then the diary ends in just the darkest place, and you're like, oh, I guess it ends where we meet her. Shit.
Yeah.
And then, like, after the bathroom scene, you find out that Nikolai is undercover for the Russian, like, for Russia
No,
itself.
he's for MI5.
Scotland Yard, I think it's called.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like he is a double agent, and
Yeah.
I was just like, damn, man, the shit you had to do.
Right?
Like clearly he didn't want to do it, but he just had to because it'll blow his cover. But
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel so bad, and then we find out that like Krillin like took the baby,
Yeah.
and he's like, like this my dad. Oh, sorry, right, his dad like instructed him to
Take
dispose
care
of
of it, yeah. And you're like, I am convinced this might happen because this movie is going down a rabbit hole I don't like, and anything is possible. But thankfully, Anna and Nikolai saved the baby, and that's the end of Anna's crossing paths with the Russian mob. And you just hope, like,
Yeah.
maybe she just lives the rest of her life with her and the baby, and they all grew up happy together.
I love it that this movie doesn't end with a big shootout or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we get it. Like Viggo Mortensen is a fucking badass.
Yeah.
Like his character Nikolai is a badass, but we didn't need to see him like dive into a table and like shooting like Max Payne.
Yeah.
It was very quiet. It was very subtle. It's very like, all right, this is the end. We are never seeing each other again. I do not understand the kiss, but like, yeah, I was like,
Like, yeah, you're like, I don't think these characters ever had chemistry that way with each other. But
yeah, like I could have done without it. Like yeah, I get what the director was trying to do. Like, oh, will they, won't they? But I was like, it was never a factor throughout the entire
you're
movie
kind of
until-
like, I rather they don't, you know?
yeah. I was like, I don't think they're the right fit for each other at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he kisses her goodbye, then she just adopts the baby, and then she just lives on. And then I was just like,
Yeah.
that's nice. And then we cut back to Vigo, and I think he's just still in deep with like the
Yeah. His lieutenant is like, I think we should pull you out. He's just like, how do I explain this then? And you're like, oh fuck. Okay. Shit.
I like that he got the star.
Yeah, and it's not like he can walk among civilian life and be like, hey, what's up? People will be like, what the fuck is that? I know what that means. Holy shit.
I know what that means. Like,
Yeah.
I felt so bad for like his character because it is a tragedy.
Yeah.
He is stuck in that life now, whether he likes it or not.
Yeah. And you're just like left to imagine like maybe Nikolai does dismantle the organization from the inside out, or maybe he is in too deep and he's just stuck there forever until someone else has to pull him out, you know? Who knows?
Yeah. Maybe he has to fake his death. I don't know.
Maybe he has to, if he has to do that, he has to have someone remove all this shit, because he'd be like, I can't walk among people like this. I think I read an article that said they were practical tattoos, and Viggo Mortensen walked into a bar with the set tattoo still on, and people were like, what the fuck, is he really a Russian mob? He's like, calm down, I'm an actor. They're like, oh, thank God.
I love that. I love Viggo Mortensen.
Yeah.
Like, he's just great.
Yeah.
I love him in Lord of the Rings. I love him in here, and I love him in that new David Cronenberg disgusting movie.
So everything being said, what would you rate Eastern Promises?
I would give it a 9.5 out of 10. I don't understand. Fuck it, I'll give it a 10 out of 10. It's such a good movie. It is a really good movie, and it's such a hidden gem.
Yeah.
Like, we're getting a peek into like the life of a Russian mobster, and I'm just like, and we're seeing it through different perspectives. It is fucked up. It is like not a lot happens, not a lot of like action stuff happens, but you're still gripping the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
Like, this is so dark. This is so messed up, and like how they hide it too is very seamless.
Yeah.
Like when you see the grandfather, he's just like extremely nice and just very kind and accommodating, and like, but you don't know this man had actual skeletons in his closet. That was so great. Especially the props to that actor. I don't know if he's still alive, but like, props to you, man. Other than that, like, Viggo did an amazing job. He was mostly the standout, even though he's supposed to be like somewhat of a supporting role.
Yeah.
While Anna is supposed to be the main character. Yeah, the girl from King Kong did a pretty good job. Yeah, everybody did a really good job here.
Yeah.
I can't find any gripes other than the kiss.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, yes, I know there's a lot of fucked up shit here, especially with like the miners. But like, I guess it was like their way of showing that this is a fucked up world, and sadly, this guy who's just an informant is subjected to it. I'm just like, oh, poor bastard.
Right. I'll give this a 9 out of 10 because there's a lot of things that are great, but at the same time, there's a lot of things that might trigger people's responses, and that's very valid. It's like, even I sometimes I'm like, do I really want to rewatch this movie? They tell more than they show, which I appreciate, but at the same time, you're like, it's a very graphic telling, man.
It is.
Yeah, and like everybody from Viggo Mortensen to Naomi Watts to the actor for Simon to, of course, Tatiana Maslany, to carry the weight of her voice from being very enthusiastic to being very trapped in this horrible life. You're like, damn, man, if the narration didn't sell you on that, you wouldn't feel as much, but they chose a very brilliant actress to be like, I feel so sorry for you. This world is cursed, and I'm glad Anna is in and out and has nothing to do with them ever again. Hopefully, you would guess. But yeah, it's a very much a hidden gem of gangster movies, and not one that's really talked about, but it is very well crafted and very well executed. It's also not very long, because some movies just go on, and you're just like,
Yeah.
I got you, can you please wrap it up? But like, this one's like a sweet 1 hour and 14 minutes, and you're like, oh, I get the message. Okay, cool.
But it felt like forever.
Yeah.
Not gonna like with how it's not slow, but with how like intense everything was. You're just like, wow, that was so much. 3 minutes, you know, just like.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love this entire movie. I love Viggo Mortensen, and like, yeah, I really suggest to watch this if you were into like gangster movies.
Yeah. To the audience watching, what's your favorite David Cronenberg movie? Whether it's this, The Fly, or that one weird movie with Viggo Mortensen as well, where he...
I forgot what it was called, and you know what? We could leave it at that.
He also has another movie with Viggo Mortensen called A History of Violence. It's also pretty solid. I hear good things, but at the same time, I hear it's pretty hard to watch. Maybe I'll check it out one of these days, and maybe I'll convince my co-host here to watch it as well for another lineup. Who knows? But yeah, that's been our video for Eastern Promises. What do you guys think? Please comment below whatever your thoughts are. If you like our videos, please leave a like, subscribe, and ding the bell icon to get notified of when we upload next. Individually, I am Zodas Voices on TikTok and AnsWolf on Letterboxd. Where can I find you?
You can find me at JohnGM_ on Instagram. It is my account.
And until the next time, we'll see you then. Forgot where to end this. I was distracted by how good this movie was. It's still in my mind. Anyway, bye everybody.
I think I might rewatch this. Ciao.